Yes guys, welcome back to the George Benson football channel. Welcome to the second video uploaded here on this channel today. The first one, if you've been living under a rock for the rest of this day, and this is the first thing you've done on the internet since, well, the start of the 6th of December 2019, Chelsea's transfer ban was overturned. It's flipping brilliant. I've had a great energy today, and I'm looking forward to the future of making videos here on this channel throughout the rest of December. We've got plenty of football still to play. Huge game away at Everton tomorrow, which is the whole purpose of this video. Transfer speculation, rumours, everything. It's a good day right now to be a Chelsea fan. But tomorrow, Chelsea fans have been shoved under the flipping bus. 12:30, lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. We could, yeah, I get it. We want to put it on TV. Everton-Chelsea, it's a big game. It's an even bigger game now that there's the whole Marco Silva's been sacked, Everton are in the relegation zone thing. It's a huge match tomorrow for both sides, but it could have made it the Saturday evening kickoff. It could have been a Sunday, 2 o'clock, or a 4:30, whatever. 12:30 on a flipping Saturday it's ridiculous, isn't it? Gonna be getting up tomorrow at 5 in the morning, driving up to Everton. If you're going on the train, a bus, you're walking for some daft reason, or you're going in the car tomorrow, I'll see some of you guys there. Get there safely, don't break the speed limit, and don't do anything crazy on Friday night to make sure that you can't make it to the game. That would be a bit of a disaster. Everton away. Over the course of my career of following Chelsea, that's a ridiculous thing to say. My lifetime of following Chelsea, Everton away has brought some high moments. It's brought some low moments. Pretty much the same as every other fixture in the league, but I thought I would say that for dramatic effect, but it wasn't dramatic at all. Last time I went up to Goodison, it was the most boring 0-0 draw that I think I've ever seen in the history of football. The time before that, we won 3-0. Pedro scored an absolute banger to win us the game, and well, 3-0. We scored 3 goals. Antonio Conte. Chelsea went on to win the league that season. Here's the thing. Everton have sacked their manager, Marco Silva. Marco Silva was brought in from Watford, supposedly, to take Everton from being a team that's always like there or there about the European positions to take them up a level. They've invested a lot of money in the club. Everyone is extremely unhappy with the way it's going. Everton are a big Premier League club. They're not a club that need to be getting relegated to the Championship. Something needs to change, and after a 5-2 defeat in the Merseyside derby away at Anfield, the wait for an Everton win at Anfield goes on. Not only that, they were by far the second best team. Merseyside is extremely red at the moment, and there's a blue side from London coming over to try and make Merseyside as blue as possible, but in the form of a Chelsea away win. Everton started the game against Liverpool playing in a 5-4-1 formation. What you normally tend to see with a 5-4-1 formation is a team that when they're not in possession, presses to get the ball. The defensive line from Everton was so high against Liverpool, against one of the best attacking teams in the world, that it was just tactical delusion, really, from Marco Silva, the way they started that game. It was as if the defenders, the midfielders, and the forwards were working as 3 separate units as opposed to being a cohesive team on the football pitch. They reverted it to a 4-4-2, which actually saw the team on the pitch play a little bit better. But that being said, you know, there's no way that he was going to stay in a job after losing 5-2 against your biggest rival. So the players were kept in at the training ground for Everton yesterday, and next thing you know, Marco Silva, they took a bit of time announcing it, which as Chelsea fans we're all thinking like, will he be there? Won't he be there? He ends up getting sacked, and Duncan Ferguson has gone over and taken the managerial role for this game against Chelsea. So what does this mean? It probably means they're going to turn up and start to be a decent side again. It's always the way it works with this kind of thing, unless you're Arsenal, in which case it's probably a good thing for Everton that there's another team that are quite a big club spiralling down towards a relegation zone. It kind of eases the worries of relegation because Arsenal are on their way. So the chances are Everton tomorrow, let's not lie, they've got some very good talented players within their squad. They've spent a lot of money. They've got players with extremely high expectations on their shoulders that haven't been performing, and I probably expect them tomorrow to put in a much better shift than they have been in recent weeks. If we look at their top scorer this season, for me, he is their best player, Richarlison, the Brazilian man, 5 goals so far this season. They've also got Gylfi Sigurdsson, who on his day, dead ball specialist, also a very talented creative midfielder, and also probably the #1 centre-back at the moment is Yerry Mina. They've got Michael Keane, who's at the back for England, not really convinced by him whatsoever. There were links with him to Chelsea, and I'm actually pretty glad from what I've seen that he went to Everton. They've also got England's #1 goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford, who with his current form for his club, I'm not sure he's going to be England's #1 for much longer. However, Chelsea have got to go there tomorrow with full concentration because Everton, they've got points to prove. The board aren't happy. All of the management staff under Silva, not happy. The players can't be happy with being an 18th in the table. and their fans. They're an expectant bunch. I've always heard that the atmosphere at Goodison Park is supposedly really good. I've never experienced an Everton goal there, which, touch wood, I know that they'll score tomorrow because Chelsea always seem to concede, but I hope they don't. But we've got to be very careful going into this game. It's the worst time, you could say, to play a side like Everton when they do have so much quality. They've not been playing well, the manager's been sacked, there's clearly going to be a tactical shift. There's absolutely no way that Duncan Ferguson will put them out the same way that they did when they were getting battered in that first half at Liverpool. So what is the Chelsea team that I think is going to go to Goodison Park tomorrow and get all 3 points? I'm going to say that Chelsea are going to win. My Premier League prediction series, the video will be out tomorrow morning on the way up to Goodison. So if you're travelling to the game, you can watch it on the train or in the car, as long as you're not the driver. So stay tuned for that one tomorrow morning before the match vlog after the game tomorrow. Kepa's going to start in goal. That is an absolute no-brainer at this point, as is Chelsea's new #1 right-back, Reece James. People are criticising him for his defensive mistake for the Aston Villa goal. I criticised him also. However, yet again, Reece James, 100% duels won. Crossing into the box, he got the assist for Tammy Abraham. At 19 years old, Chelsea have some player on their hands. There's no doubt in my mind now that he has displaced Azpilicueta as Chelsea's #1 right back. That being said, at the same time, we've also got a game in the Champions League against Lille to worry about. So maybe we see Azpilicueta shifted with Emerson at left back. But for me, Reece James starts at right back with Azpilicueta at left back. I was impressed by Azpilicueta in the game against Aston Villa. And then you've got the 2 centre-backs, and I think Christensen did very well in the game against Aston Villa, but I do think we'll see rotation, and I think it will be the partnership of Zouma and Tomori at the back for Chelsea in this one. It was very good in that game against Aston Villa, Christensen and Zouma, but Tomori, he's had a really, really good season. He's got that pace, and I think he could be used to deal with Richarlison or Calvert-Lewin tomorrow, one of the two. Kurt Zouma, at the moment for me, is our top centre-back performer. Moving into the rest of the team, now Liverpool played a 4-2-3-1 in the game against Everton, and it really, really worked. They were by far the better team on the pitch, and I think Chelsea will do exactly the same in this game. Gonna go with a pivot, and it was so good against Aston Villa, but I am gonna rotate it. You could see towards the end of the game, Kovacic was looking pretty tired. He's been so good recently, so it's very difficult for me to sit here and try and justify dropping Mateo Kovacic from this Chelsea team. It's not necessarily dropping him. I just think he has been so important, and he did look very tired after that game against Aston Villa. So I'm going to put Kovacic on the bench, which sees the return of the vice-captain Jorginho alongside the brilliant evergreen N'Golo Kante. Kante looks as though he's got a spring back in his step, and Jorginho, in terms of those passes over the top, if Everton do play with a very high defensive line like we saw at the beginning of the game against Liverpool, then Jorginho's passing over the top for Tammy as the striker. If Tammy is fit, I think he will be. We'll get into that part of the pitch later in a moment. Jorginho playing balls over the top for the striker. I think it could be a great outlet tomorrow for Chelsea. And that moves us into the 3 behind the striker. Obviously, Frank Lampard's press conference, I haven't actually seen yet what he said about Tammy. We're going to stick Tammy as the striker. If it isn't Tammy, I would stick Batshuayi in for this game, but we're not going to argue about that anymore because it's a no-brainer now that Tammy Abraham's Chelsea's #1 striker. Great goal again and an assist the other day. The 3 behind him, going to go with what I've gone for pretty much all the time at the moment. It's Christian Pulisic, who I actually feel as though of all of those attacking players, as well as Tammy, Pulisic is undroppable at the moment for Chelsea. Yes, his goal scoring and assist tally has been very good this season, but it's the work that we're seeing him do now. The little runs, the making of the space to enable the striker to have the space is brilliant from Pulisic. He's been absolutely phenomenal recently. He starts on the left for me. Mason Mount in the middle, whose second half performance was brilliant in the game against Aston Villa. He worked hard, as he always does, scored a beautiful goal as well. You could see his confidence was growing during that match. He kept taking shots, which is something we need to see from these Chelsea players, shooting from outside the box. And then on the right, we're going to go with Willian. I thought he was very good again against Aston Villa. We could see Callum Hudson-Odoi, but both Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic like to play on the left. And right now, Pulisic is playing so well that I can't justify dropping him from this team. So if that's the lineup that we've gone for, and you guys can see it on the pitch right now, the reason the transfer ban is so important and a great thing, not just for Chelsea's ability to be able to sign players, but it's also going to give players like Willian, who wants to stay at Chelsea. Willian's come out and said that he still wants to play a Champions League final for Chelsea. It's one of his dreams. Willian's got intentions of staying at Stamford Bridge, yet Chelsea will also have undoubted intentions of buying a new winger. So for players like Willian, the transfer ban being lifted and Chelsea's ability to spend in January, it's very important for some of these players whose places aren't guaranteed in this Chelsea team that they continue to perform. Now, if you look at Mason Mount, He's been performing very well this season. Some people have criticised him, but there's also going to be pressure on him now to maintain these level of performances, to keep scoring goals, and to also hopefully start adding assists to his game as well. With the ability for Chelsea to sign players, it also puts a big emphasis on performance for players like Azpilicueta or Emerson, whoever it is who starts at left back, and also Reece James. He can't start getting complacent now that he's won his place in the team. With the goals that the club have of winning the biggest competitions, despite this good vibe that we've got going on right now at Chelsea, despite this breakthrough in the youth players and the emphasis of Lampard to really bleed this youth team in this season, Chelsea are a club that want to win things, and nobody within this side can get complacent about their position now that Chelsea have the ability to invest if we need to. So expect a big rise in all of the players' different performances. Even Tammy Abraham, he probably knows that Chelsea are going to be in for a striker, and if we're in for a striker, we're going to go for someone decent. We're going to go for a Timo Werner, we're going to go for a Haaland from RB Salzburg, those kind of players. So Tammy needs to be on it as well. This transfer ban is a massive lift for everyone at the club, but Chelsea got to be very careful against an Everton side who have sacked their manager. They're deep in the relegation zone. Well, they're not deep in it, but they're in the relegation zone, and they cannot stay there for much longer. So it's a huge game. It's going to be a difficult game. I do think Chelsea will win, and I think there'll be goals. I think Everton will be resurgent. Going to say Everton 2, Chelsea 4. I think we're going to get a few tomorrow. I think Everton's defence has been poor. As always, guys, let me know your preferred lineup in the comments down below. Do you think and agree with what I've said about the transfer ban? Put in the pressure, kind of lighten the fire underneath some of these Chelsea players to continue to perform at their greatest potential. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Let me know your score predictions for the game. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. Subscribe to the George Benson football channel if you haven't already. Huge game for Chelsea, and then all eyes on the Champions League for the start of next week. I will see you all from Goodison, but Premier League predictions first thing tomorrow morning. See you all there tomorrow. Bye-bye.